Hello and welcome to Deliberately Creative. I'm Stephanie and I want to welcome you to week 4 of my Inktober sketchbook series. Come on and let's get started. See what I came up with in week 4.
All right, so we're going to get started here on this very first one, which is the raven. And it was a lot of fun to do, figuring out how to lay it in here and describe it in the easiest way that I could figure out so that you could be successful doing it. You know, I don't try to just show how well I can draw because I've been doing it for a long time. I started out drawing when I was about 5, and I was encouraged to do that because my dad was an artist and he liked to draw, and so I would watch him draw, and I always wanted to make things look like real things. I remember being in kindergarten and I was drawing faces that had, you know, those upside down 7 noses where you would draw, or like a letter L for the nose. When you're 5, generally you're not doing that. You're not trying to make a nose that looks like a nose. You're making a nose that's usually a blob in the middle of a face. And fingers that are just sticks sticking out of a blob. I wanted it to look like fingers. I tried. You know, my stuff was still little kid art, but I was already looking at details and trying to figure out things. So when I'm doing these lessons, sure, I'm drawing them the way I would draw them, but I'm trying to also figure out how I'm drawing it so that you can draw it too. And it makes me really happy when I see artwork that people have made based on the artwork that they've seen in these videos, because that means that I'm explaining it the way a person can understand. This little raven, though, if I did it again, or when I do it again, I'm sure I'm going to do another raven. I think I would try and leave more of that undercoating of the softer gray showing. He got a little bit dark, a little bit darker than I really wanted in the end. That's okay. You know, this is a sketchbook challenge. Now this is really light on here. My lighting changed and I didn't get it fixed as well as I thought I had. But you'll start seeing it even better in just a few minutes when the color starts going in. And this is the marigold. And again, this is another one where people are going, oh yeah, it's so easy for you to do it. But I want it to be easy enough for you to do it and end up with something that looks really hard. You know, it's that magic trick of drawing. When you draw something in step by step, you know it didn't take that much to do it. Once you've done it a few times, you get the idea of how the petals are laid in. What's the order that you want to put them in? Where are you going to put the little shadows? It's not hard. It's a process. And it's not talent. It's a process. It's training. So it's not talent, it's training. And you know, maybe I have a little bit of a leg up on a lot of people because I started so much younger. But that doesn't mean that I was talented. There's air quotes going around that word, talented. That just means that I was given opportunities when my mind was more receptive and I was told that I could do anything that I put my mind to try. So, you know, even now, there's new things I'm learning all the time. And you keep your mind young the more you learn, because you're always creating new pathways in your brain. I love how this marigold turned out. The Inktense blocks, you know, people are like, oh, they're so bright, and oh, you can't really get, you know, subtle color changes and things like that. And yeah, they're bright, but they don't have to stay bright. You can mix them. You can use complementary colors with them. You can get beautiful variations with them. This one, the candy corn, okay, see, I did not draw my can straight down the sides the way I should have. I sloped in, and I just made it work because, you know, that's what we do. You look at it, you adjust, you figure out what you're looking at, and you realize, oops, or I realized, oops. So I fixed it. And that's another reason why you work a little bit slowly to begin with, laying out your first lines. Please use a pencil and an eraser if you're not comfortable going straight in with a pen. It's okay. It's not cheating. I would be using a pencil and an eraser if I weren't doing this as an Inktober challenge to myself to try and do all of these without a pencil. And I pretty much succeeded. There's only one, and that was that really wonky cat from a couple weeks ago that I used a pencil on. But I only used it for some guidelines, and then I stopped doing that because it felt like I was cheating. And I didn't want to cheat. But it's not cheating in real life, okay? It's not cheating in real life to use a pencil, you know, especially when you're doing something that you are putting in guidelines for perspective, or, you know, you're building a building, you're drawing a building, you're doing something that has a framework that you're putting a skin over. So it's nice to be able to have that pencil line frame to work on. This little can of candy corn just makes me happy. I love how it ended up. I also love how the Inktense blocks worked on this one too. Now first I went in with a little bit of white and put white on the tips of the candy corns because that's where it's white on the candy anyway. Then going in with the orange, then going in with the yellow. But then I pick up a little bit of purple to mix with the yellow. And then I pick up a little bit of blue to mix with the orange. And it helps to shadow and shade and give dimension to these flat little pieces of candy, but they start to pop up and stand out and look like they're lifted above. And this is not a realistic drawing. This is an illustrative drawing, representative drawing, representative. You know, my words just sometimes change into really strange things. How about a representative drawing? Again with the corn here. Yeah, I kind of got stuck on corn. But somebody asked me if I could do some ornamental corn. I'm hoping that this fits what they were looking for. I do have a full-length lesson. Pretty much all of the videos except for one will have a full-length lesson that will just be posted this month. Has been crazy because I've put a video up almost every single day, and that's probably not going to happen every single day for November. I'll try and keep up with posting 2 or 3 videos a week. Just because I've got things in my mind that I want to do. Now I love how these husks, the the kind of dry paperiness of these husks actually turns out looking. Very textural, very much like you could pick it up. You could feel the crunchiness of it or hear the rustliness of it. Putting in corn, corn is just rows of circles. You know, they are tinier at the tip and they get bigger as they're going back towards the stalk, just like a branch, where it's bigger at the tree, and as the branch goes out away from the tree, it gets smaller. So the corn on the cob, it's bigger at the end where it's attached to the trunk, or to the stalk, and it is narrower as it's farther away. I'm using the colors that I want to have in my corn. If I were doing this and spending a little bit more time, I could make this look very realistic. I could have it be, really dark and the corn looking more puffed up and all of that. But I like how it turned out. It's a little more impressionistic, even though it's a pen drawing. But there's still enough detail to it to make it feel like the corn. Ornamental corn, it's here in America, it's something that right before Halloween and all the way through Christmas, you see ornamental corn out. Now, just throwing some white on top and then realizing the white is not going to end up being strong enough. So then I dry it and come back and then use my white Uniball pen to give some highlights and a little bit of shine. Again, it's a much more detailed, step-by-step informational lesson when you watch the real lesson. Okay, it's time for a squirrel. I think. Oh no, it's time for a pinecone. Whew, pinecones are tricky. Pinecones are not something that I would recommend for your very first drawing. Unless you're doing a pinecone that's completely closed and you're not having to get those foreshortened petals of your pinecone. Because boy, even me, while I was doing this drawing, and I knew what I was doing, it was, oh gosh, it was a mind bender, okay? And you just have to trust that it's going to work out. I've done several pine cones leading up to doing this one for the lesson, and every single one of them was different, and every single one of them gave me a few minutes of, oh my gosh, is this really going to work? And then all of a sudden, boom, it works. And you've got a pine cone that's right there in front of you. And you've got shape and you've got form. And it's like this really cool magic trick. And that's something that you just get that feeling of, oh my gosh, I did that. I drew something that looks like a real thing. And it totally, I want to say it flabbergasts me sometimes when I'm looking at something and I've been working on it and just didn't think that anything was going to work out. All of a sudden, it's there. There's a pine cone. There's shape. You can see through it. There's light coming through. And it's something cool. Now, I wanted to make sure to get a pine cone done so that I could have that out there for people who wanted to maybe do holiday cards or winter cards or, just something with a pine cone. There's going to be some holly and some holly berries. There will be some fir boughs. I will probably be doing a wreath. Different things that can be done for holiday cards or tags. So, this little squirrel that I'm working on right here, he would actually look awesome on a greeting card. And instead of the brown kind of tree trunk, dirt pile, whatever it is that he's standing on, you could have that be snow. Or he could be standing with pine cones piled around him or fir boughs piled around him. But he is so cute, and he's holding this nut and looking cheeky with his big chubby cheeks. And I want to give you guys things that you can do things with, that it's not just, oh, look what I did. I want you to have opportunities to use these images for your personal cards, for your personal projects. I don't want you to go and take my exact artwork, but as soon as you draw this, yours is going to look different than mine, even though it's in a similar shape. Okay, my brain just went totally numb. All of the reference photos that I have been using, I just did search for on Pixabay, and that's pixabay.com. And it's free photo references for artists. And generally they are copyright free, public, set out for public domain or Creative Commons, that you can use them and make your own art from them. So, use it. Go out there, go use that reference site. It's awesome. Another one to get pictures from is Paint My Photo, which is pmp-art.com, I believe is what it is. It's Paint My Photo. Or you can just do a search for Paint My Photo. So the squirrel is done, and he's so much fun. Now I wanted to do a little succulent, and my drawing of it worked out really well. The painting of it, the colors, I ended up getting just a wee bit too dark on the actual painting of it. And I don't know, do you guys want the little succulent as an actual lesson? I have not edited this one down as a lesson, and I don't know if anybody wants it. Cute little succulent in a little planter. It could be used as a card also. So, just let me know. I don't know if that's what you want to see or not, but, you guys are really good at letting me know what it is you want. Now, if there's other items or things that you would like to see me do, or if you even want to have more lessons after Inktober is over, let me know in the comment section below. I really have enjoyed my time sharing my artwork with you guys. You have been so supportive, and just your comments have just been making me smile. And when you tell me that you drew something or that you had a fun time learning how something went together, that just makes me so happy, because this is about me sharing how to do something with you. Now, if you like these videos, I hope that you will click that like button. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click the bell so that you'll be notified when new videos go up. It would make it really great if you guys could please share my videos on your social media. because the more people that it's shared with, the more people that will subscribe to the channel and have the opportunity to learn how to do all these things, and have the opportunity to tell me what you would like to learn. Leave those comments. And as always, I hope that you will go out and do something creative and take care of yourself so that you can take care of those around you. And I really appreciate you being here. See you soon. Bye-bye.